Hello everyone, welcome to beautiful Bali, where I have filmed my go-to express Pilates workout for you. We're going to begin down on all fours. Make sure you spread your fingers out nice and wide, index fingers pointing straight forward, elbows wrapping back, pushing the floor firmly away from you. Start to come into your cat and cow stretches here. So exhale, round your spine up towards the sky. Inhale into your cow, back the other way. Now, if you like, you can tuck your toes under in the cow and then press the tops of your feet back down into the mat into your cat stretch. So by tucking the toes under like this, you may feel a nice stretch through the soles of your feet. And then you might even like to lift your knees off the mat a few centimeters now, both in the cat and in the cow. So as you move into the cat stretch with the tops of your feet pushing into the mat, you might feel a nice stretch through your ankles. But of course, do what works for you here. Keep pushing that mat firmly away from you and focusing on the movements of your spine. All right, return to your 4-point kneeling position now. Make sure your lower ribs are drawing in. We're moving into our bird dogs. Reach your right arm forward, your left leg back. I like to look down here and just check that the hip points are even. And then return. We're going to tap our hand and our foot to the mat and then lift back up again. Hand and foot to mat and lift back up, and keep going with this one, keeping your body as still as possible, trying to only move your arm and your leg. From here, we'll move into the other side. So reach your left hand forward now, your right leg back, keep your hip points square, and away you go. Lift and lower. So try to keep the back leg as parallel as possible, which means don't let your heel turn inwards and the top of your foot turn outwards. You want the top of your foot pointing down towards the floor each time. Now reach your right arm forward again and your left leg back. And this time we're going to take our right arm out to the right, our left leg out to the left, and then draw it back into the center line. So each time you draw your arm out and your leg out, you're trying to keep your body really still. Once again, you're keeping your hip points even, and you're inhaling as you take the limbs out, exhaling as you bring it back through the middle. You'll feel perhaps a little bit of inner thigh activation here as well. Let's change to the other side now. Left arm forward, right leg back, take it out and in. Inhale out, exhale back in. Keep going with this one. Keep moving with your breath, working hard to keep your shoulders square and your hips square as well as you go. Now returning onto all fours again, take a moment to square off your shoulders and your hips, and we'll move into some upper body activating work now. Wrap your elbows back towards you, bend your elbows, see if you can tap your elbows on the mat without letting them wing out to the side. So I want you to keep your elbows drawing back towards your body, tap them down on the mat, and then straighten them back up again. From here, let's move into a single leg version of this exercise. So shift your knee, your right knee more centered underneath you. Your left leg will extend back into the air behind you. And once again, start to tap your elbows down onto the mat and up. Then we'll switch to the other side. So shift your left knee more centered underneath you, extend your right leg back, and away you go, tapping those elbows down and up. Take your weight back a little bit with you as you go. Now moving back onto all fours, I want you to take your knees a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Lift your left arm up high to the sky. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, thread the needle. Thread it all the way underneath your right. See if you can tap your left shoulder on the mat and start again. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, thread it through. The goal here is to get as much rotation through your upper body as possible here as you go. And try to twist from your waist. Try to keep your hips really still. Once you've finished about 4 on that side, we'll move into the other side. So left hand presses down firmly, right arm opens up, inhale, and exhale as you thread the needle, bending your left arm to take your right shoulder, hopefully to tap the mat. We are moving quite quickly today to really get that blood flow going through the body. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you thread. Keep your hips nice and square. From here, let's return up onto all fours. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips now, so bring them in a little bit, and we're coming down onto our forearms. I want you to interlace your fingers together, push your forearms firmly down, extend your left leg back behind you and externally rotate it, and we're lifting the leg and lowering it all the way back down. Lifting it and lowering it down. So think long arabesque-like leg in the air behind you. Now hold it up there and we're drawing little circles with the leg in the air. Keep your body really, really still. Can't stress this enough. It's like you're doing a plank with the upper body. Now you're going to bend your knee, keep it in external rotation and take your knee towards your shoulder, then send your leg back behind you again. Bend it in towards your shoulder, send it back. So you're squeezing through your glutes to help maintain this external rotation of your leg and keeping your hips as still as possible. Now let's extend the leg back behind us. Give me some little pulses here. Up, 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 and then we'll bring our leg all the way down and switch. We'll do it all on the other side. So start by externally rotating through your right leg and start to lift and lower arabesque leg. So try not to dump all your weight into your left hip here. You want to keep your hips as square as possible. Of course, you'll have to lean a little bit, but we want to minimize the amount of lean. And coming into those little circles in the air now, keeping your leg back behind you, drawing those circles in the air, body as still as possible. Use your core to help you. From here, once again, bend your right knee now up towards your right shoulder, then send it back behind you, keeping your leg in this externally rotated position. Keep it externally rotated as you bend and send it back behind you. And coming into those little pulses again here now, leg long, lift and lower just a little bit in the air behind you, lift it up, keep squeezing through your glutes, externally rotating and coming all the way back down now. Amazing job. Let's take a little break here in child's pose, hips to heels, arms long in front of you. Take a beautiful deep breath. And now sitting on your bottom, I want you to swing your legs around in front of you. And now we're moving into some reverse tabletop exercises. I want you to take your hands behind you. You can either have your fingers pointing towards your bottom or you can slightly turn your hands out. It's whatever feels most comfortable for you. Drive through your feet. Feet are hip distance apart. Your feet, knees and ankles are making about a 90-degree angle, and then you're driving through your glutes, lifting your hips up and then bringing your bottom down to tap it back on the mat. So you want to drive through your legs, lift your hips up and then come all the way down. Now for more of a challenge, you'll extend your legs straight out in front of you. Same thing here, lift your hips up and then bring them to the floor. Now as you do this, I want you to really think of squeezing your shoulders back and towards each other, but not so much coming into a back bend. It's really just working the glutes and your core. Once you've had enough of those, that's really about all for today. And I just want you to enjoy a nice forward fold stretch. So either with bent legs or straight legs, reach your arms forwards, really flop over your legs, maybe point and flex your feet, give them a shake. And that is it, my friends.